Terror attack in Bondi has sparked a wave of misinformation and the spread of violent footage online.
It is confronting to watch. So how can you navigate social media right now, and what can you do to process this awful event? To discuss, we are joined now by Today Tech expert Trevor Long and clinical psychologist Dr. Anastasia Horonis live in the studio. Good morning to you both. So Trevor, I'll start with you because as Carl mentioned there has been a lot of misinformation. So first of all, how do you separate fact from fiction online?
I think it's a real problem today, especially with the rise of AI images and things like that. I think the challenge is people understanding what we've kind of expected from news over the years, which is checking sources, checking facts, and basically not judging everything by that initial impression and looking for additional sources of that same information.
There's no obligation for them to do it, so it proliferates.
There's no obligation for any individual to... they're resharing things that they see instantly and they're going to reshare that to my network because I think it's real. And so we as individuals need to learn to judge that content. We need to talk to our family and friends about that. Like, I'm talking to my kids about that right now. You've got to talk about the fact that you can't believe everything you see online because, you know, one photo doesn't represent a whole story and one person's text doesn't really represent the truth every time.
This horrible one I saw the other day was that, you know, the victim from October 7, and he had shrapnel in his head that Damien Ryan was meeting with afterwards.
Yeah.
And then there was this AI one saying that he was putting paint on his head.
Face paint, yeah.
But that went like
Shocking.
Wildfire. People form opinions, and this guy's reputation when he's the victim.
Absolutely, and that was an AI. Like, there was an AI image generated from what we saw real. It was created to make it literally. It was just a command prompt with AI to say make this image happen, and it looked real because AI is amazing. But again, if you dig deep into the comments, you see enough people calling it out as AI. So what we need is social media companies to allow us as individuals to flag content we don't think is real, we think is fake in any way or not flagged as such, and they need to act upon that. And they need to act fast. They can't wait days and review it. They should take it down upon any report and then let the person that posted it prove that it's real.
Yeah, it's good.
Sadly, it's not a priority of theirs, so they don't actually care that much, these social media giants. So they're not going to make the considered effort that's required. So I guess, Doc, if you bring you in, the issue with people watching this stuff, whether it's real or not, can still be difficult to process, right? So how do you, I guess, take care of yourself while you're taking in the information that's out there?
It's important to recognise that vicarious trauma is a real thing for people who weren't necessarily there. We can experience traumatic after effects simply by viewing so much footage. So it is important to be really conscious about the information that we're choosing to seek out. Notice if we are doing the doom scroll, it's very easy to get stuck in it and go from video to video, but trying to take a really mindful approach and recognise that we are probably likely to feel a little bit heightened at the moment. We might have some sleepless nights, we might feel more irritable, you know, and kids might feel that way as well.
You know, you're 100% right, because when this started, I mean, here's the balance. It's like you just want to see what's going on, and it's always been the way. But then, you know, at 3 in the morning when you wake up, you're having a look at this stuff, and what's that doing to the mind?
Oh yeah, it's keeping the body and the mind in a state of stress. Even if we're not consciously aware of the stress, the body does hold on to it. Our cortisol becomes activated. We enter some form of a fight or flight or freeze response. So it's important to kind of engage with routine, keep to structure, engage in some sort of more relaxing, mindful practices to be able to sort of lower the arousal.
What do you mean, like just exercise and things like that?
Exercise, gentle walks, listen to calming music, anything that's going to sort of soothe us on a really sensory level is going to be really helpful at this point in time.
Trevor, is there any benefit, I guess, in perhaps just switching off? You know, I mean, your mobile phones are obviously a hotbed of information, right? And a lot of it, as we've established, can be misinformation. Is it just a matter of going back to, you know, traditional facts that are delivered through the news and then switching off mobiles?
And I get grief when I say this to people because of where I work, but I just go, you know what, I'm just going to watch the 6 o'clock news and the Today Show. I'm just going to watch the basics and I'm not going to try and obtain information elsewhere because it's just, it overwhelms you. Now, it's hard to switch off, let's be honest. It's very hard to switch off. But I think the bigger challenge is just the amount of content that is being sent out on social media. I think we need to put a little bit of emphasis. It's not a today question, but it's over the next maybe months or year. The government needs to look at what social media companies can do to basically manage the type of content that people are sharing and, you know, have ratings around it and that kind of stuff because really we're being exposed to late night content on our phones at all hours of the day.
Yeah. Good luck with that fight though, right?
Exactly.
Doc, can I ask also just about coping, right? And I'm not asking this in trying to be amusing in any way, shape or form, but a lot of people out there are trying to cope however they can. They're drinking and, you know, whatever they think they need to do. Is What would you say about that as a way of coping? And is there other alternates for people out there? Because a lot of people would have just sunk themselves into oblivion.
Yeah, look, and I completely understand if that's the path that people have taken, right? This is so traumatic and sometimes people don't know where to turn. There's certainly support services available. There's lots of hotlines available if you do need to talk things through. We don't necessarily immediately recommend talking through things if you don't feel like you don't need to. Yeah. Don't think it's something you have to do. But if you are wanting to talk it through, there are services available.
Excellent. Good on you. That's
Thanks, guys.
really revealing. Thank you.
Good
Thanks,
insight.
Trev.